morning, the Board of Governors unanimously approved a plan of expansion that will bring a National Hockey League team to Seattle.
After a decade of drama.
If the city ever gets its act together on a building.
I think the Key Arena is a difficult arena for hockey.
The past meets the present.
I would like to release the Kraken.
We are proud to give you the Seattle Kraken.
Seattle finally has a National Hockey League team. A new arena. A new training center. With tentacles transforming not one, but two Seattle neighborhoods. And tonight, it finally has names, players, a team rises. This is a King 5 special presentation. It is time to release the Kraken.
Hi there, I am Jessica Janner Castro. It is great to have you here with us for this special presentation of King 5 News as we release the Kraken. It has been a truly spectacular day. We are here at Gasworks Park. It's been a star-studded event to announce the first members of the Kraken roster, and moments ago the team selected the first team members and also announced October 23rd the Kraken will take on the Vancouver Canucks at Climate Pledge Arena. So mark your calendars. And as we look here from Sky King flying overhead, you can see the thousands of people watching from the park, even more people on their boats in Lake Union. A definite sense of excitement here in Seattle and throughout Western Washington. We are having a blast today. It is a picture-perfect day, and right now it is time to meet your Seattle Kraken. I'm going to send things over to Paul Sylvie joining us now. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Jess, a lot going on here today, as you can imagine. Very exciting day at Gasworks Park here on Lake Union. You know, the Kraken have not only had a very busy day, they have very busy several months leading up to this expansion draft. GM Ron Francis doing a whole lot of research, looking into the players that he wants to pick. And here they are. The first pick for the Kraken this year for this expansion draft was a big defenseman out of Boston, Jeremy Lauzon. He has all the intangibles Ron Francis is looking for in a player. This is a guy who certainly is someone that you want to build a franchise around. The Kraken's second pick was Will Borden of Buffalo, another defenseman. You know, Ron Francis has said in the past he wants to build from the goalie straight up the middle, and that's what he's trying to do with this team, especially right out of the gate here with the expansion draft. And the Kraken's third pick today in the expansion draft, Dennis Cholowski, another defenseman from Detroit. And this is just the beginning of the Kraken as they build their franchise. Lots of excitement around this team, as you can imagine. We're talking about the expansion draft today. That's part of how they can build this franchise. You've got free agency coming up. Of course, Friday you've got the NHL entry draft.
The NHL expansion draft. This is how the Kraken bring veteran experience into their opening night lineup. The Kraken will select one player from every NHL club, except the Vegas Golden Knights, who just joined the league a few years ago. But it's not a free-for-all. Each team can protect up to 11 players currently under contract, 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. First and second year pros are exempt. The Kraken must select at least 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders. It's a balancing act for Kraken GM Ron Francis as he works to build a team that can compete from day one. He also needs to begin building a development pipeline. The Kraken have the second overall pick in Friday's entry draft, where young prospects like those who play for the Seattle Thunderbirds and Everett Silvertips will be available. Then next week is the start of free agency, where the Kraken will have the option to sign a few more NHL veterans.
Yeah, we talked about this schedule these guys had today, and then Jess mentioned the home opener is going to be against the Vancouver Canucks, but the first game of the season, first game in Kraken history, will be in Las Vegas against the Vegas Knights, a team that a lot of players were asked about today as far as, is that the bar for this team? Because, of course, Vegas made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first season and has won 2 division titles in their short history. So we'll see how this team develops in the future, but for now, we'll throw it back to you, Jess.
All right, Paul, thank you. It has taken a long time to get to this point. King 5's Chris Daniels shows us the rise of the Kraken.
It is a monster of a story, spawned nearly a decade ago.
Certainly, we've talked to people who are interested in having NHL hockey in Seattle.
The puck didn't really drop until late 2017 with Tim Lewicki and his first hire, Lance Lopes.
This will allow us to finally get a winter sports franchise.
Seattle's council approved a memorandum of understanding for a new arena with Lewicki's Oakview Group in December of 17. UW grad David Bonderman led the application for an NHL expansion franchise 3 months later. And within 2 weeks, on March 1st of 18, 10,000 people signed up for tickets in 12 minutes. Lewicki phoned home the next month.
This is probably more complicated than building an arena in Seattle.
To secure the Seattle ice, his brother Todd.
Today is a sweet day.
By September of 18, the city had a deal for a new nearly $1 billion arena at Seattle Center. And then a month later, yet another one for the future Kraken team headquarters and training facility on the old Northgate Mall site. Around the same time, the mayor took Manhattan for a final shot at league executives.
It's eventually going to happen. I mean, key arena is going to be built, so I think it's imminent.
The city scored.
We'll bring a National Hockey League team to Seattle
When the league officially awarded the 32nd franchise on December 4th, 2018. Just a day later, Lewicki and elected officials broke ground at Seattle Center.
Thanks for being there all along. I remember the first interview.
Construction continued through the pandemic, as did the conjecture about the team name. Do you have a favorite?
No. Well, I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
So it's the Kraken is what you're telling me.
No, I'm not telling you any. Who told you that?
And now, here we are, on the shores of Lake Union, with a landscape changed and the Kraken about to rise from the deep.
And as Chris mentioned, the Kraken will play in a brand new $1 billion arena. It's an ambitious construction project in the heart of Seattle Center. Chris joins us now with a look inside.
We are at center ice of what will be Climate Pledge Arena. It may look like an old car of a 62 vintage, but if you look under the hood, this classic shell now has an engine which could re-energize Seattle Center.
If you come in those doors...
The Oakview Group's construction lead, Ken Johnson, walked us through a tour of the new building and a project which preserved the roof, helping to act as a canopy for a big dig. 600,000 cubic yards of dirt were trucked out to allow for the build-out of an intimate bowl.
This is a fantastic feeling, what it's going to be like playing in this and how close everybody is.
And you can see some of the other differences from the floor. Notice how in 2019 it was tough to see the light? Not anymore. That's thanks in part to the new Alaska Airlines atrium on the south side, a glass palace of a main entrance at the new arena. And there are other touches to this $1 billion private project. One thing you will notice about this new building that didn't exist here before, the acoustical panels known as lapidary baffles that will help with the sound quality in Climate Pledge Arena. There is not just one, but two scoreboards that will also hang from the roof. And in the bowels of the building, you can see the difference in size. The CPA will be 800,000 square feet, doubling the footprint of the old key. This is the Kraken locker room, which will have the logo on the ceiling. And that'll include much larger locker rooms for the home teams.
So we have 4 locker rooms. This is the best one. This is the best complex.
Johnson believes the building will live up to the hype and that pledge related to the climate, with a roof rainwater collection system and solar panels powering the infrastructure that he says will make it a champion no matter who plays inside. As it stands right now, the arena is scheduled to be completed by the middle of October, in time for the Kraken season. The only question is whether they begin that season on the road or here at home.
Hi there, and welcome welcome back to our special coverage of the Kraken expansion draft. Boy, what a day it's been here at Gasworks Park. A live look here from Sky King, and you can still see a really big crowd out here at the park. A lot of people out on the water as well. People on Lake Union watching the show from the water, finding out who will make the Kraken team and who will take the ice this fall. And as you are watching, we want to see your Kraken pride as well from home. Post your photo showing how excited you are about the team by using the hashtag K5Sports. And these are just some of the posts that we are seeing from you. We love them. Please keep sending. You can text them to us as well. Send your photos and a short caption to 206-448-4545. And the Kraken may be the first NHL team to make a home here in the Northwest, but hockey has been a part of Seattle's history for more than a century. My colleague Paul Sylvie joining me again. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, you know, it's ever since the Kraken and Seattle was going to get an NHL franchise, everybody got excited. They started to think about the history of hockey in Seattle. You talk about the minor leagues, and you have to go all the way back to the Metropolitans to find out the last NHL team to play here in Seattle. Such great history. Here's a little look back.
They've won the league or finished second 7 of their 9 years, you know, and they played for the Stanley Cup in 1917, 1919, and 1920.
Seattle native Kevin Tyson wrote a book called When It Mattered Most, which documents the forgotten story of America's first Stanley Cup champions, the Metropolitans. In 1917, Seattle knocked off a very good Vancouver team to win the league title, and then the mighty Montreal Canadiens to win it all 3-1.
It was a really well-rounded team that, you know, they suffocated the other team's offense while they pounded them. It definitely was a shock, and it was a shift in hockey.
The win helped put Seattle on the map. But in 1924, the team folded when a replacement for the Seattle Arena could not be found.
And Pete Muldoon's the head coach, and he scrambles. He tries really hard to get a new arena built, can't do it. So then he goes down to Portland, and he coaches the Rosebuds for that final year.
In 1944, the Pacific Coast Hockey League resurrected, and the city had plenty of semi-professional teams over the years, like the Ironmen and Totems. In 1977, the Seattle Breakers played in the Western Hockey League, but were sold and renamed the Thunderbirds in 1985. From 1997 to 2002, the Tacoma Sabercats played in the West Coast Hockey League. A year later in Everett, the Silvertips franchise was born, and they would become an instant rival with the T-Birds in the WHL. And now with the Kraken, Seattle will finally have another chance to win a second Stanley Cup.
So much history to look back on, and certainly this Kraken team wants to make history of its own. Jess, back to you.
All right, Paul, thank you. That is the past, but the future is shaping Northgate. The team's practice facility is being built at the site of the old mall, and as Chris Daniels explains, there's a lot more going on in there.
Welcome to the Kraken Community Iceplex, the main rink, almost 1,000 seats. This is where the Kraken will train. Rising from the surface is the eye of a new Northgate.
They'll spend a lot more time in this room than they will downtown.
That's Iggy Tarajas, the Director of Operations at the Kraken Community Iceplex. So this is what's powering all three rinks.
Everything is right here. It all revolves around this bad boy.
He'll use 30,000 gallons of water to initially freeze the 3 sheets that are a centerpiece of this $80 million development that will serve as the Kraken's franchise headquarters and team training facility.
Put up this beautiful glass so the players can keep an eye on their $1 million Maserati.
It wasn't too long ago this was one of the first enclosed shopping centers in the country, a destination for families. The Kraken believe it'll now be a target again.
This is going to be a community-oriented center. We're going to have something for everyone. You can watch the Kraken practice. So that's our 32 Bar and Grill. Great restaurant for people to come and watch what happens in these rinks.
I think growing the game is a priority for us.
There are already youth and adult programs scheduled, curling, ice skating too, with the belief that heightened accessibility equals heightened interest.
We're willing to have difficult conversations to expand our sport and tap into growing the women's game, growing the game in different backgrounds of life.
A public park is also part of it all, with the thought that the Kraken's arms will extend across all seasons here on the north side of the city. It is amazing when you think that groundbreaking on this building was the day before the first announced COVID case in the country. They only had a couple of weeks of work stoppages, and this building will open on time, this rink, on July 29th.
And that is not the only big construction project happening in Northgate. It's really part of a revitalization that hasn't slowed down because of the pandemic. Chris is joining me now live. And Chris, boy, that's a lot happening at Northgate.
That's right, Jessica. The arrival of the franchise is just part of Northgate's renewal. It is Seattle's District 5, and as of late, the landscape is alive in D5.
It will be dramatically different.
Seattle Councilmember Deborah Juarez reps the area.
We are the successful picture of transit-oriented housing, transit-oriented development, economic vitality, welcoming neighborhoods.
This is fast becoming an urbanist's dream. The Iceplex is just one part of a community hat trick, years in the making. Sound Transit is also finishing up the adjacent nearly $2 billion light rail station, which will be connected to the other side of I-5.
Why not bridge the gap?
The question will be answered with the $35 million pedestrian bridge over the freeway.
And this will provide a gateway for not only students, but for anyone who wants to access the campus or access this beautiful neighborhood that we're a part of.
North Seattle College President Dr. Shameen Crawford says the school is actively planning activation of the adjacent parking lots and is looking to take advantage of the new accessibility.
We're trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
All three projects are scheduled to be ready by October 2nd, and Juarez says thousands of units of housing are on track to be completed by 2025.
We're looking at about over 7,000 units of affordable, low income, and market rate mixed use.
All of it just a 12-minute ride from downtown.
And it isn't just about the hockey. It's important. It's incredibly exciting. It just shined a light on the bigger things that are going on. And this was just kind of like, what do you say, the cherry on top of the ice cream?
Yeah, as we stand here on the water, you can really see the Kraken's tentacles all over this city, to the north and to the south. Big changes with this franchise coming to the city.
Even without a team, Kraken gear has been a hot item in Seattle, and all this week fans have been flocking to the team store on Lake Union. I found out what went into the design and what inspired the iconic S symbol.
To be here and be part of growing a brand from the ground up that's hockey related it's a dream come true.
That's awesome. So Aaron, we're inside the team store right now with merchandise all around us, the really cool logo. Tell me a little bit about the Kraken brand.
Well, the Kraken brand obviously revolves around the mythical creature, but I think about mystery, intensity, and inclusivity, the passion of the fans at the core of our brand. But also the Pacific Northwest and the region that we're from, and honoring the nobility of the sea. And wrought iron, the wood textures, you see that in the beveling that shows up. Is the mythical creature itself. The tentacle rising from below, very ominous, and then the red eye that appears. It's piercing and pulls you into the narrative.
You've turned the mythical monster into an S. Why an S?
So this is to honor the history of Seattle hockey. Our most famous team is the Seattle Metropolitans, who won a Stanley Cup, wore an S on their chest, and we're proud to continue that legacy.
Tell me how merchandise sales have been doing.
Fantastic. 60% of our sales come from the Northwest, and actually 40% of sales come from around the U.S.
Wow. How do you grow this brand in years to come?
We take a very intentional and disciplined approach to the narrative, not just the visual identity, building mystery, intensity, and theater of the mind. And then over years, we can grow the story. Maybe the Kraken appears, maybe it doesn't.
When can fans finally find and buy the jersey with the S logo on it?
The jersey is coming soon. It'll be this fall. We'll have our home and aways. I say both look beautiful. I cannot wait for fans to be able to have a piece of the team in their hands.
And to craft the distinctive identity, the Kraken turned to ADIDAS in Portland. I sat down and talked to one of the designers who spent time here in Seattle for some inspiration. Tell me about the partnership with the Kraken and how that developed.
People may debate it, but I'd like to consider ADIDAS as the first draft pick of Seattle Kraken, and it's different. You know, we've done this before. We redid the ID for the Leafs, for Florida Panthers, for Dallas Stars, but with those teams, something already existed. Like they had the team name or the colors even. Seattle was like from sea level, creating the list of names, 1,000 names, the logos, hundreds of them. For all these things, the Seattle person has to see it right away and feel like they own it. Hockey fans across the world need to see it and say, ooh, that's pretty awesome too. Like, I want that, or I don't want to play against that. The player, when they see that S on their chest, there should be a little bit of Superman to it, power them up. The fan should see it and want to get a tattoo of it.
You can't give me any hints on the jersey. There's nothing you can throw out there.
I can tell you, I mean, look around. There's going to be these colors. There's going to be this S.
What's one of the most unique colors that you came up with?
We looked out at Elliott Bay. There's the water's color of blue. There's the Olympics colors of blue. There's the sky colors of blue. Specifically, ice blue. It's like a little drop of Elliott Bay water in there. Just a little touch of green and ice. That's why we call it ice blue.
And today we finally got to see those jerseys, the home and away jersey. Take a look here at this video that we have as some of the players were able to wear it out on stage. It's taken them a year to design. Jerseys go on sale September 15th. Paul, I think they look great.
Yeah, the players were very impressed with the colors and the logo for sure. It's good to hear from them today.
Thanks for being with me, Paul. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for this King 5 News special coverage of the Kraken expansion draft. I'm Jessica Janner Castro. Release the Kraken.